Everyone, welcome back to the Anime Iceberg. I'm Megan,
And I'm Meg.
and today we're talking about Dr. Stone, episode 13, Masked Warrior.
In this episode, all that's needed to make antibiotics is alcohol. The best way to get some is to win the grand bout, which the Senku and
What?
that was Crunchyroll, not me. I'll start over. The best way to get some is to win the grand bout, which Senku and his kingdom will also need to do in order to keep Megma away from Ruri and give her the drug.
Do you want to work for Crunchyroll and help them write these?
Yeah, a side hustle.
Yeah. Anyway, this covers manga chapter 33, Bad Chemicals, 34, Sneaky Grand Bout Strategy, and 35, The Masked Warrior.
Senku and Chrome and Ginro are back from collecting sulfuric acid, and it just a quick note on that. They come back and Kohaku and Suika are like so relieved and like, "Yay, you're back!" And like Senku just looks so exhausted in the background because he had to carry back all that sulfuric acid. It's
Yep.
just
But
hilarious.
also, I gotta say that all three boys must have such an adrenaline rush going right now from that near-death experience.
Totally. Can't even imagine like the walk back from that. I feel like it either like complete silence or like
Talking
talking
nonstop.
nonstop. Yep. Yep.
I think, well, I'm wondering if Senku and Chrome ever clued Kohaku into how dangerous that actually was. Like, so boys, did anything happen while you were there? Oh, nothing much. We just got the sulfuric acid. Not a big deal.
Uh, yeah, well, they probably didn't want to get beat up, so
Yeah.
nah. Yeah, that was dude, I can't even imagine. Ugh. Okay. But now they have their sulfuric acid, they can make all the stuff that they do, which requires a lot of boiling and then like mixing things together. Um, so they boil their sulfuric acid to get their hydrochloric acid. They make sodium hydroxide and um, other things that I did not write down, so I don't mention, but um,
My favorite thing they gathered, though, and this is like a classic Dr. Stone thing where they do these quick cuts, and it's so hilarious, but they have to get ammonia. And Kawaku's like, where do you get that from? And Senku and Chrome just start peeing into a jar.
mm-hmm. Yep, that's where you get it from. Yes, that was a great. Honestly, this episode was full of like, yeah, like the quick cut, and then we've got like just hilarious faces. Like this episode was full of them. It was
Oh,
it was great.
like Kohaku when she's like, you're making all these dangerous chemicals, so that's what you're gonna give my sister to drink?
Hmm.
And like then they pee, so that's what you're gonna give my sister.
Hmm.
Poor
I mean,
Senku's like, no.
I understand.
Hmm.
Like I get that too. I would be concerned, but nope, you just mix it with other things and are you it balances out and it's okay in the end. And like
Yeah.
especially your pee, it's not just ammonia, so they're definitely cleaning that and just like getting that
It's
um
amazing what chemistry can do and change
hmm
things.
yes, it is interesting. I'm not a chemist, but I was fun taking like I took organic chemistry and it was a lot of like um using the very fancy glassware that Senku has and in especially this episode that you
Mm.
just like put stuff in and boil it to separate out the different compounds. So it's fun, but it's kind of complicated and tedious, so wasn't for me. But anyway, they make all this stuff, and the final ingredient they need is alcohol to make the rest of what they need. And they can get it from the winner of the grand bout. Whoever wins it gets a ton of alcohol. So they're like, yes, we need to win the grand bout. Um, and so then we see them prepping for the grand bout because it's like the next day or something. Um, and this is when we find out that Senku is also going to compete in the grand bout. And not just Senku, but we later learned that it's like that Chrome is also going to compete. Basically, everyone from the science team is going to compete.
Except for
Uh,
Suika and Kasaki because
yeah.
Suika's too young, Kasaki's too old.
Yes, exactly. Honestly, Katsuki is not too old because I think you have to just be over 18 or whatever
You
he
have to be
said.
over 14 and
Over
unmarried.
14. Yep. Yeah. Oh,
Maybe he
I
was married
don't
at one
know.
point. Maybe he still is. I don't.
Yeah, they never say,
It
but
doesn't
he's
seem
not
like he's
competing.
married.
Yeah,
Just
that's what I agree. Like it doesn't seem like he's
he
married.
could have been at one point, though.
Yeah. Yeah. But that doesn't exclude him from just because he was married doesn't exclude him from competing.
He's definitely
But
strong enough to
yeah, I was gonna
compete.
say like he's definitely like I'm kind of surprised that he didn't compete because he definitely would have been an asset. But um,
But he
maybe
does.
maybe but
He just.
I wonder if Kohaku was like no, like you're not marrying my sister. Like I'm okay with these other guys, but not you.
I don't think
Um,
Kasaki would have any interest in.
no, and I no, I agree. Like I don't think he would either. But
It's like I'm
but
old
it was
enough to
kind
be
of
your grandpa.
like I mean, we know what happens at the end, but like it was kind of like you win and you're marrying her, you
Yeah.
know. So she didn't think of the other options if he had won. Um anyway, that's my guess. My guess Kawaku was like no, or he is married. Anyway, uh and I don't know, the whole scene where we find out Senku's gonna compete is pretty funny because he makes a super valid point where he's like, the more people fighting for that are on our side, the better, because that's better chance of us winning. Um, and it like I don't know, Ginro and Senku are like actually buddy buddy right now. They're like so just
Near
this is
death
like
experience
such a
bonded them.
yeah, and it's like this is such a diabolical plan, which to me, not really, but
No. Well, okay,
I don't
here's
know.
like you wrote down in our notes, Kinro is horrified, but
Yeah.
Kinro wants to be like if we're gonna win this thing, we're gonna win it fair and square. I get that.
Hmm.
I really do. But Kohaku fires back with, well, this is to save my sister, so I'm not opposed to being underhanded. And I
Yes.
also agree with that. If it's somebody's life is on the line, I might be willing to cheat.
Yeah. I don't even think it's not
No,
cheating. Like they're
it's
literally just
just
competing in the
it's kind
competition.
of kind of rigging it,
Like,
but it's also strategy.
yes,
Like there's
exactly. That's
nothing against
okay.
the rules.
That's how I view it. And I think that's like how Senku is actually viewing
Yeah.
it. He's just playing along with Ginro.
Oh, I
Honestly,
love that.
they're
Like,
probably just trying to get a rise out of Ginro, let's be
but
honest.
it's so funny because they
Like,
use like that same biblical imagery of like the Garden of Eden, and Senku and Ginro are the snakes, and you see the forbidden fruit on the tree behind them.
yes, it's so great. And also just like one random note in this all these scenes that this is when we learn that Senku has been at the village for about 6 months, and this is like his first time crossing over into the village, and they let him in they let him in because there is no rules about an outsider competing.
I've never had
Um,
to worry about that before, I
yeah,
don't think.
exactly. Like there weren't any outsiders. And something else really interesting that happens is Rory hears Senku and that the outsider is gonna compete, and she hears his name for the first time. And she recognizes his name. Um, but before she can ask him about it, she gets a coughing fit. And but Senku, you can like see it on his face that he's like, oh, something, she knows something, and I need to find out what it is. But no time right now because they're about to compete in the grand bout. And then we also see Chrome's strategy for for trying to win the grand bout. He's training to, he says he's gonna take out Magma's junk, and so literally he's just like poking, like just like
Poking a
stabbing
target.
his yep. Like
I
uh,
think his strategy would be my strategy though. Like
mm-hmm.
I'm always so frustrated when I'm watching movies or TV shows and they're like facing the big bad and they're like, how will I ever defeat him? He's so much stronger than me. I'm like, literally, kick him in the nards.
Yeah, it's not too hard, especially like when it's somebody that is much larger than you. That's the
Magma could
best
crush
strategy.
Chrome's skull with his fist.
Yeah.
But I also liked what Kohaku said in the manga. We should go after his family jewels with a vengeance.
That's pretty good. And then unfortunately, right before the grand bout starts, Mantle, who is the bane of the village's existence, um, he he tricks Kohaku into leaving because he's like, "Oh, Suika fell into the river and is drowning," and so Kohaku leaves to go check on her, and she has to be back before her fight. But okay, there was
Yes.
a moment when like Senku and Chrome are like, "You're lying. She's
I love
fine."
that. No,
Um,
that's such a good thing because you know, usually in shows the heroes are always like, "Oh no, I must go off to save them." But Chrome and Senku are like, "You liar, we know that's not correct." And Kohaku, you know, like she knows too, but she's like, on the off chance that Suika really is in trouble, I would feel horrible if anything happened to her. I have to go check, which is
mhm.
very noble of her. Very, it speaks to her character a lot. Um, and I love that like Senku and Chrome were just like kicking Mansell
Yep, yep. It
on the
was
rope bridge.
really, yeah, it was really unfortunate because they were right on the bridge, and we both were like, just a quick kick, and he's gone. Just kick him off the bridge. Eh,
I don't condone
but
murder, but I'm pretty sure he can swim. But I love
yeah,
in the
get rid of him for the
manga,
grand bout.
Senku says, if you're after a battle of wits with the science squad, try coming back in 10 billion years, you transparent troglodyte. And I had to look up troglodyte. I think I'm saying it right, but it basically means caveman. So
Nice, fancy.
I used that word in a sentence recently because Senku taught me.
Mm.
And I was not calling somebody a troglodyte, I was calling myself one because my roommates and I were talking about issues we were having with moving houses in a month. And I was like, "Oh yeah, sorry, I'm not much help. I'm a troglodyte when it comes to this."
Were they all confused?
They just didn't respond.
Oh, they're like, we're letting her move. We're not letting her live with us again.
Nah, the conversation just kept moving on. I think they could guess what it meant though. It was via text, so I couldn't get a reaction.
Okay, okay. Yeah, okay, that makes more sense. Because if it would been in person, right away I would have been like, what? Okay. They're probably like starting a second group chat, being like,
She's out.
yeah.
They have the torches from like Survivor. Sorry, you have to go.
Oh, that's great. Okay, so after Kohaku leaves, then it's the first fight in the grand bout, and it is the worst combo because basically the Kingdom of Science, their goal is to they basically wanted to rig it so that Kinro made it to the top to face off Magma in the end.
Yeah, so
Um,
that they could wear him down
mhm.
at the
And then
bottom tiers.
Kinro could finish him off.
But it's up to
Uh,
lots, drawing lots, so they couldn't rig it
yeah, they didn't
as
have
much as they
any.
wanted to.
Yeah, they didn't have any control over it. And Magma and Kinro are facing off in the very first fight.
Wah, wah, wah.
Um, and yes, it would this was like one of those moments where it was a great uh facial expressions, and
The
so
memes.
definitely, yeah, definitely have to share it. It was great. And so then Senku has to resort to some other methods. He encourages them all to dope or
Legal dope.
yeah,
Uh
legal doping. Um,
Honestly, not okay, so he uses a mixture of honey, sweet flag, and tea leaves, but I remember before cross country races in high school, there would be some people who were like downing spoonfuls of honey because like that the sugar like gets your glucose like it just helps before.
mhm.
I cannot stand straight up honey. That's just not something I can do, so I didn't do that. I think tea just not much for like sports, but like just people saying in general to keep up your health and energy, and it's better than, like
Mm-hmm.
caffeine and coffee. I'm still a coffee person. I'm not a huge fan of tea, but whatever.
Yeah. Honestly, don't like either. I basically live a caffeine-free life.
Good.
Good, but also not good. I'm tired all the time. But so are people who drink coffee, so I don't know. And then we see the fight starts, and we see that Mantle is being the worst again. He's gonna like try to throw a rock at Kinro while they're fighting. And but they have
They have a
a referee.
referee.
Yeah, they have a
Yeah.
referee watching the match, and he's like, "Nope, you're not gonna do that." And then we see that Senku was gonna do the same thing. He had like brought a ton of stuff to
It
cheat.
was up the top of his, he just like fluffs out his skirt and stuff drops out from under. That was great.
Yep.
I love that.
Yep. And then we see that Suika she was not drowning, but she was kind of in trouble. Mantle had tied her up, which I don't know how, because basically they're the same size. Um,
Well, he's got more upper body strength than
so
her.
that's true, but mm.
I'm sorry, this whole episode I was holding down the laughter because Mantles had his catchphrase, which is "Oh yeah," so many times, and then you copied him.
Oh no, I did.
You did. No, you
Kill
repeated
me.
he said it and then you repeated it in his tone of voice. It was a perfect impression,
Oh wait.
and I was dying.
Oh wait. Never mind. Okay, I thought you said that I just like said it on accident.
No, no,
Oh, okay. I remember that now.
you
I
intentionally
remember that.
repeated it, and I just my soul left my body for a moment there.
Okay, yeah, never mind. Now I remember that. Um Yes, so Suiko was captured, but she figured it out herself and she came back to the grand bout. And it was a very sweet moment because everybody saw that she was back and they're like, yay, she's okay. Um,
Kawaku's still out
and
there looking for her though.
yeah, yeah, she is. So she's not back yet. But Suika looks at Kinro and she's like, oh, he's got the fuzzy sickness too. And she is super awesome. And she like does a throws her helmet and Kinro, catches it on his head. Um and now he can see and
The
it's
prescription's way off, but at least
yeah,
it's
I'm sure like
better.
it's not right, but it's yeah, it's better. And so now he can fight. And I don't know, there's also like another classic. He makes a really great, I would say, un-Kinro like pose. Um,
It's like a JoJo Bizarre Adventure pose, and there's
yeah,
fire in the background.
yep, yep, and everybody's like, "What is
He
happening?"
looks no, I think in the manga actually it cuts to like Senku, Chrome, and Ginro looking at him, and they've just got like these terrified looks on their faces, going, "He looks kind of creepy in that mask."
Yep, yep. That's. I mean, I think that's what they said. They said like that's creepy or something like that.
Hmm.
But then the fight's not over yet. But that is the end of the episode.
Yep. All right. So, some manga extras. We have another Mecha Senku Q&A, and this one asks, "I want to have hair like Senku's, so please tell me what products to use." And basically, Mecha Senku says they're cowlicks. Maybe he thinks so much that the brainwaves act like static electricity in his hair. So, not even science can explain his
His
hair.
hair. Yep.
Not just,
Shocker.
I mean, not just how it stands up, but the color too.
Right? The color. Like
He's
how?
Japanese.
Yeah, nobody has green hair though. And ombre white green hair.
Too many too many years around chemicals. I don't know, but he was born looking like a little bean sprout. So
Mm-hmm. Yep. He's a green onion. That's what you mean.
yeah. Green onion. I've also seen some people do like little cabbage. He's a Cabbage Patch
Yep.
Kid.
Yep. I've seen that too.
Yeah. Anyway, and then at the end of the last volume, which was volume 4, there was Kohaku's observations of the Grand Bout competitors. It's like this really cool bracket, and then she has like a little blurb about each of them. I won't say everything, but I will say what she ranked each character as. So Kinro, she has being an S-ranked balanced type. So basically, he's good at all around stuff. Magma is a double S ranked power type. Mantle is a C ranked speed type. Chrome is a C ranked strategic type. And Senku is a D ranked strategic type. Kohaku is a double S ranked speed type. Ginro is a B rank speed type. And Argo, who is another competitor just thrown in there, is an A rank power type.
Nice. Yeah, they all have very different skills.
Yes.
And we were thinking about it ourselves and we're like, how do you think we would do in the grand bout? Um
I think
I you go ahead.
I would be an A ranked speed type, but
Okay.
the speed is what I have going for me. I'm not sure about power. I mean they're fighting with these like cushioned lance thingies, like no blades,
Mm-hmm.
but it's a lance. I was in color guard, so at least I know how to like swing a pole around, but still I'm kind of lacking in the upper body strength that like Megma and Ginro have. I could evade and avoid and hopefully kick somebody in the nards. But
Yep.
I think I think overall, for sure, I could beat Mantle. For sure, I could beat Senku. And if I really tried, I might be able to beat Chrome, but still, he'd probably get the upper hand on me. Also, I don't want to hurt anyone. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I also think it would be really fun just to fight against Kohaku because it would just be like girl time, but
Yeah,
like
but you would lose
battle.
immediately.
I would lose. Yeah. Ugh. How about you, Meg?
Um, well, if I was ranking like the strategy, speed, and power, I would say I don't know what exactly I would say. I can't put a letter to it, but I think my strongest would be the strategy, and then the power, and then speed. Um, and I'm kind of with you on like the same. Okay, well, it depends. Like if you're just considering like power and speed, I think I can beat Senku and Mantle as well. Probably not. I don't think I could beat Chrome. I don't think so. I would try. I'd give it my best effort. Um, but if I was thinking about strategy, 100% would lose to Senku, but I think I could beat Chrome there.
Mm.
And Mantle's just gone.
He's
He's we'll
obliterated.
beat him in wherever. Like yeah, I think I'm beating Senku and Mantle like you. And I said we should just team up and us together we can beat Chrome.
Yeah. He might also just be like, who are these random women in the ring?
Very confused. We want alcohol, right?
I've never had a drop of alcohol in my life.
Yay, more for me.
I am quite concerned about how I would fare if I went from having none at all to like just being in the Stone Age where wine might be your better option than having to like boil off water.
Yeah, you'd be fine. You get used to it.
Okay.
Um, just be like you just have to like work your way up. I mean, it's all about right now you're a lightweight. And honestly, so am I. 100% am too. But at least I've had drinks before, so I'm not a total noob. Anyway.
All right. Oh, we have a character to introduce. We're going to talk about Ruri today. So, her voice actress is Kristen McGuire, and we met Kristen at a Comic-Con. She is a lovely person, and she is
Hmm.
also an artist. So all of the prints at her table, she drew herself, and I really wanted to buy one, but I was on a budget. Um, but she is actually married to the director of Dr. Stone, who will play a character we'll meet later, and we'll bring him up when that happens. But his well, it's Cliff Chapin. Um, but Kristen was also Isabel Magnolia from Attack on Titan, Toma from Noragami, and An from Relife. you haven't checked out real life, it's kind of a diamond in the rough. It's pretty good. The animation quality kind of peters out, but the story is really good. And Ruri is Japanese for lapis lazuli, which is a pretty blue stone.
Hmm, cool.
And her eyes kind of reflect that, I think. I think her eye color might be the same as the
Mm,
gemstone.
yeah, that would be cool. Neat detail.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, Senku, he says, get excited. Just one time in this episode. Okay. So we already answered that. Yes. So extra other fun things that we had to talk about. Um, what do you want to talk about first? Kotatsu or Promised Neverland?
Kotatsu.
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 Yes, we have a new dream. Um last night we were watching Horimiya, and it's like the second season, which is basically like all slice of life, like stuff that happened during the first thing that could happen during the first season that we didn't get to
Mhm.
see. It kind of reminds me of the second season of Ranking of Kings.
Oh,
Have
yeah,
you
yeah.
seen that?
It's not filler, but it's like, here's the stuff we couldn't cover during the main story.
Yes, exactly. That's what it's like. And we've been enjoying it um so far. And for the last episode we watched last night, it was literally all about the Hori's Kotatsu, which if you don't know what that is, I'm sure you've seen them in a lot is mostly I would say like slice of life animes.
Hmm.
Um and it's like a table that it's like a heater underneath it, and then they usually like put like a blanket down, and they have like padding on the floor usually,
Oh,
and basically you like sit with your legs under it and warm
fall
your
asleep.
legs up, and then you also just take a nap. Like I mean,
Mhm.
you just sleep. That's
I
and
started saying what we should do with the Kotatsu, and like in the room we could put a little fountain and have peaceful music
mhm.
playing and ambient
Dude,
lights.
we'd never leave that room. It
No,
would be bad.
I've become a professional napper.
Exactly. I actually did have, when I was younger, I worked at a Michael's craft store.
Mm.
And during the summer, they would sell mini fountains. And so I got one
Ah,
1 year. Oh man, I must have gotten rid of it. Why would I do that? But it was amazing actually. Like you turn it on, it was like so soothing.
mm.
Um,
But anyway, the Kotatsu, we just want one. So
yep. When we are going to when I come back to my hometown, we are going to uh
we're gonna
probably.
grab another roommate or two, get a house, and have a Kotatsu.
Yes, that is what I'm gonna spend my money on when I
I will
have a real job.
gladly contribute to that.
Yes. So anyway, we are very excited about it. We talked about it last night, and I literally looked it up on Amazon. It's like, how much are they? And they are not cheap, but that's fine. And then I was thinking about it all day. I was just like, oh, I want to go tattoo. I just
Happiness
want to
has
take a
no
nap.
price. Happiness is a Kotatsu.
It just like looks so comfy.
Hmm.
Anyway, that's enough of that. We are gonna get one, and then it'll be a while, but we will report on our findings and we'll tell you if it's worth it.
Fast we fell
Actually,
asleep.
yeah, we'll never record an episode again because we're gonna spend all our time napping. So I guess if all of a sudden our podcast ends, you'll know why.
We're gonna die under the Kotatsu. We'll never leave and we'll just starve.
I no, I was just thinking, I was like, my legs are gonna get so dried out. I'm gonna have like basically like old lady legs. It's gonna be so dry from the heat.
Anyway,
Just
moving
like,
on to the next topic. Tell the audience what exciting thing you did.
oh yeah, I did a bad thing because I was supposed to be working, but instead I uh binged, I think it was 3 volumes of The Promised Neverland. So basically, well, okay, I watched The Promised Neverland, and then I made Megan watch it. But only the first season because everybody that I knew said don't watch second season. It doesn't follow the manga and it's just not good. Um, but
I
Megan
made the
watched it.
mistake of watching
Yeah,
the second
after I
season.
told her 10
I
times, don't watch it, and then you did anyway.
I was so curious I had to check it out, and I'm glad I
No,
did
I did
because
it.
then it motivated me to read the rest of the manga, and I highly recommend reading the rest of the manga.
Yes, it was good. I'm if you know anything about it, I'm on like the Goldie Pond arc, basically. I'm almost to the end. They're about to fight the last demon. Um, and yeah, I mean, just that whole storyline is like hard not to read it all the
Yeah,
way through.
yeah.
It's very good. Um, I'm enjoying it, and like just reading it, I was like, how could you survive? It was just like one chapter a week, like because like those chapters are so short.
Mm-hmm.
Like you would be waiting for it. It would be painful. But yeah, I like the new characters, and then we also find out. Okay, there's gonna be spoilers, so if you don't want to
Spoiler.
hear, skip skip ahead. Um, but that is like I think it's volume 9 that you find out that Norman is still alive, which you know the whole time. Um, so I'm excited to see what happens with him. I love him. He's my boy. He's my favorite character, so I want to
Ray's mine.
see him get out. Hey, I love seeing the way he thinks.
Yes.
Um, and I like the new adult. I remember
Mm.
now. No, I remember my sister. She read them all, and
Yeah,
she's like,
Ruth loves him.
yeah,
He's great.
I love the two adults. I still don't know the other one's name, but one of them is Lucas.
The
Um,
bunker dads.
yep, that are so great. And I was so happy when you see that he was alive still. I was like,
Yeah.
yes, it was so great. And yeah, it's just a really interesting story.
Mm-hmm.
Um, with a lot of twists, like the elevator, crazy. Although it kind of makes sense that they're not gonna make it out that way,
Yeah.
but now they have to go back to the houses and it's great. I'm very excited to see what happens. I think I'm gonna order like I mean seriously, I read them all in like an hour. Um, so I think I'm gonna order like 5 from the library next time so
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just need to finish it. But yes, okay. Oops, we better finish. What was your favorite line of the episode?
Nuts by Senku. It's a weird one to pick, but in high school, my friends swore that was my catchphrase because I don't make a habit of swearing. So I would say nuts when I was mad. And apparently I said that enough for it to be my catchphrase. And I also just love how like the things come piling out of his skirt that he was planning to use to rig
Mm-hmm.
the grand pounds.
Yes. That was great. My favorite line came from Kinro when he gets his helmet and he's like, I'm so grateful for science, for Suika and for Senku. Just like,
Yeah.
uh, I love him. I do really like Kinro. So,
Yeah.
and then what did we learn in this episode?
Better safe than sorry. Like Kohaku going to check on Suika, even though they're pretty sure she'd be fine.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And then who pushed the story forward?
Suika for giving Kinro the eyes of science.
Yes. This is a really also an enjoyable episode, and it's a tournament arc. So
Yes,
it's
yes.
literally classic
Peak
shonen.
shonen.
Yeah. All right. We will be back. Actually, no. Next week we are going
Fourth of
to
July.
take a break for the 4th of
Yes.
July slash so that we can catch up on
Yes.
recording. But all right. So we will see you in 2 weeks.
All right.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.